Hi, I'm Daelina, I'm the mentee.
I'm Debbie, I'm her mentor.
Okay, so we chose our exercise. Well, we found an exercise that we liked and we tweaked it and we changed it. And each of our pieces are about a woman in her everyday space and how she interacts with it and what it means to her. My piece is inspired by my mother.
And mine is inspired by my Texas grandma.
The sanctuary. After a hard day of work, she looks to this room as though it were her sanctuary. Quiet, always the way she left it. Its yellowish-orange walls glow as the sunlight enters the room. The picture of a pretty brown-skinned woman sitting in her chair with her younger daughter at her knee hangs on the wall near the daybed. The daybed with its gold and brown pillows resembles a fluffy tan cloud. The gold decor in the room represents her personality and matches her jewelry that hangs delicately on the closet door near the mirror. She sees the door of the closet as an opening of a new world, one where the worries of her workday are hidden behind behind her jewelry and fashionable accessories. The silence in the room is overbearing, but it's beautiful in a way. For her, this sanctuary is a place of peace, representing in every way of what she feels she deserves. The aroma of Sunday's dinner, which she cooked early in the morning, still lingers in the air after she gets home from work. Its smell of chicken with soup catches her nose every time she exits her sanctuary and enters the kitchen, delivering to her face a smile. Thoughts of her childhood begin to pop up in her head. The memories of past family trips with her parents, sister, cousins, aunts, and uncles began to appear, causing her to feel a void of happiness. Pulling herself back to reality, she tries to cancel out these emotional thoughts. Looking forward to her sanctuary, she prepares herself a cup of coffee and walks towards the room. Relaxing back in her fluffy, comfortable tan daybed and drinking her coffee, she begins to imagine herself high up in the air where there are no worries, just freedom. Still sipping on her coffee, she reaches over to grab the remote to watch her favorite movie, You've Got Mail. The more comfortable she gets, the more the warmth of the day's sun begins to seep from the walls of the sanctuary and into her heart, heating up her body and giving her skin a permanent glow. Thoughts of a bubble bath dance around in her head as she holds her zebra-striped coffee mug close to her heart. Thoughts of her long work day soon fade out of her head. Her yawns come more rapidly now, as though she were a child crying out for more presents on Christmas. Time for bed, she says. She reaches for the remote to stop her movie and to turn the television off. She soon leaves her sanctuary, feeling relaxed and rejuvenated.
My piece is called 5 p.m. Scotch. Tessie poured herself her 5 p.m. Scotch. She watched as the caramel-colored liquid cascaded over the 3 oversized ice cubes lodged in the bottom of her favorite bar glass, one from the set the Coens gave her and Eddie when they got married. She sat on the sofa, flipped on the television, and propped the soles of her shoes on the edge of the long mahogany coffee table that was strewn with copies of National Geographic and Reform Judaism magazines. She'd showered that morning when she woke up at 7 a.m., or really when she got up at 7. She couldn't sleep and often lay awake in bed for hours before the sun came up, thinking, remembering. She dressed, slacks, a blouse, her diamonds, as she did every day, even though she had nowhere to go. Tessie took a sip of scotch. This place is a prison, she said out loud, to no one in particular, since the apartment was empty, except for Minnie and Mickey, the cats. Tessie said almost everything in her head out loud these days, had for almost 20 years now, after a medicine the doctors gave her to stop her heart from breaking, sparked a stroke and broke part of her brain. She couldn't read anymore. She could see the letters, but they just didn't make sense on the page. She loved reading, especially books about ancient history. She and Eddie had gone to Egypt together, climbed the pyramids. After the stroke, she could still drive, even though her peripheral vision was concerning, according to the kids. Last year, though, they finally took her car away, sold it to some young college kid. Too many accidents. She just moved too slowly. 5:45 p.m. Tessie poured herself a second scotch. Why not? Nothing else to do. She wandered over to her desk, shuffled around a few papers, then took a long look at the picture of Eddie in his army uniform, so handsome with his beaming smile and his dark eyes. "I miss you," she said. 6:30 p.m. It was probably late enough now. Tessie picked up her address book, thumbed through the warm pages, time to try the grandkids. A favorite was Sarah, a lawyer in New York. "Why can't you just find a decent Jewish man and get married already?" she said. "How hard can it be anyway? It's horrible, just horrible, awful." 7 calls, no answers. Tessie walked back to the sofa, took Eddie's photo with her, and set it on the coffee table next to the glass of scotch. Soon, the news anchor blabbering on about the weather lulled her to sleep. Tessie sat there dozing on the couch.